Are the government scrapping open plan classrooms? Yes, indeed. Also known as modern or flexible learning environments, following widespread feedback that they aren't meeting students' needs. Education Minister Erica Stanford said the design, which was introduced under the Key government in 2011, had created more problems than benefits, especially when it came to noise and student behaviour. While originally meant to foster collaboration, the large shared spaces have been criticised by teachers and parents for being distracting and, well, basically impractical. Going forward, all new classrooms will feature flexible layouts. What does that mean? Well, sliding doors to allow either open or closed setups, depending on what the teacher needs. The move aligns with earlier comments by Prime Minister Christopher Luxon, who last year said the evidence didn't back the effectiveness of open plan classrooms and that the government would reassess this one. Pat Newman is a principal of Hora School in Whangarei, and it's good to chat to him again. Good morning, Pat.
Yeah, kia ora.
Lovely to talk to you. So am I right in saying that your school embraced the open plan or modern learning environment?
Definitely
Did
not.
they? I thought you did
I
back
think
in 2017. Did you not?
No. People are getting a bit confused because they're
set me straight.
confusing open plan with flexible, and they're two totally different concepts.
Okay.
Open
What have you
plan
got?
is building. Well, I fought for 3 years and won to get what I term flexibility, where we have a two-story block, and there's 4 classrooms down below and 4 upstairs. All of them can be closed. All of them have a kitchen in between them that the classes can share. All of them have sliding doors that most of the time are shut, but then at times they're open to share things. And they can open up the whole 4 or shut off whatever they want. It's that flexibility. Now, that's quite different to open plan. I fought open plan because I've been around in education for over 50 years, to be honest. I've been a principal for well over 44 years. In the 1970s, we went to open plan, the big barns.
Yes.
By 1980, every school in the country had got rid of them and converted them. When the new one came out, many of us said to the ministry, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But they would not listen because it was at that time they were being told to save money, and it was always the dollar, no matter what they said. It was cheaper to build a barn than to actually look at what's designed for schools.
So, Pat, give us the biggest benefits then from having these flexible spaces compared to traditional classrooms.
Well, it's a combination.
Yeah, you get the traditional if you shut the door.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, well, it is. At times, as a teacher, you want to be able to work with your class as a class and things like that. At times, you want to be able to collaborate. At times, you want to be able to say, "Listen, I've got kids in this class and that class. We can work together." There's a whole heap. It's the same principles that you have with open plan, except with open plan, I don't believe the little cubby holes that they put in allow you to do anything but have small groups in them, to put it bluntly.
Yeah.
But generally teachers want to be able to work with their own class and then collaborate rather than being forced into it. But I have bigger fears now, though, where we're heading, because we have an associate minister who seems to think that we can make schools to look like Stalag 15, where we bring in prefabs and shove them up and then sing. And he's saying things like, why should schools look flash? Why should they have a good flash administration area? Why should they do that? And I keep sitting there scratching my head and thinking, I've seen this. In fact, in the years I've been there, all these ministers have come and gone and stuffed up our system with their ideas, but I'm still here.
So you're talking about David Seymour, Pat, obviously.
I don't like using that name because I have some other names for him, but yes, you are correct.
And he wants to do prefabs. Now, I just got to say, I live opposite a high school, and they put up prefabs 2 years ago because they are building a new huge block.
Yep.
and it's still not finished. So they needed they bulldozed quite a few classrooms to do it. I've
They
got to
have to,
say,
yeah.
I walk past these prefabs pretty much every day after school to take my dog through for a walk. And they're pretty flash, Pat. I don't know what you're talking about. They don't look like Starlight 13 or 14. They're a really nice colour even outside. They've got their own little decks. To me, they look exactly like the old school classrooms. There's no dividers. They're just separate. They're all in a row, but they're joined. I don't have
Yeah.
the kids don't seem to have a problem with them.
I have a problem in that I don't think the way we should be going with school buildings is having a standardized system. I think schools should be able to reflect the communities, the cultures, the needs of the kids that they are.
Don't kids just need somewhere to sit and learn, Pat?
No,
what are you talking about?
No,
Does some need to sit around a fire or something?
No, well, that's a simple way of putting it. But you actually signal, people forget, you signal a hell of a lot of things with your buildings. You signal to people, if your buildings are run down and all the rest of it, you signal that it's not important, to the education is not important.
No, I get that. But these prefabs aren't run down. They're brand new. They're smarter than my house.
Well, it depends on what the design is also and how these ones, if you realise the prefabs that you're probably looking at would have been under a different government and not necessarily the ones you're looking at now. Some of the designs I've seen at the moment are very, very bland and boring. And when I hear an associate minister saying we don't need anything flash, basically, for schools, it worries me.
Pat, you have to explain this to me. What's wrong with a bland and boring classroom? The kids aren't architects. They're in there to learn.
Well, hey,
they can paint inside, can't they? Can't they paint inside and put stuff from inside learning? They don't have to, the outside doesn't have to look like a $5 million room, does it?
It doesn't have to look like a $5 million room, but it actually has to look so that the kids can say, hey, listen, this is important to us. Education is important to us. Our kids can say that. Our parents can say
Pat,
the same thing.
You're about to say something about a radio station. This will be interesting. Tell me what you're going to say.
I was going to say it might be the radio station you work in, the buildings are not that flash, but it's quite different to actually with kids.
Well, look, let me answer that, Pat. I have worked in buildings that are worth, I don't know, huge, that take up a whole block and cost probably $100 million. And we've had every station that was owned in it. It is the flashiest building I've ever seen. I now work in a studio out of my bedroom. And not my bedroom, spare bedroom. And my radio, my shows have not changed an iota, I think. In fact, I think I've even gotten better. That's just me blowing my horn.
My dream is that every child that we turn out from our school is able to be as adaptive as you are and to be able to get to that stage. But what we're doing, of course it is. It's so that people have independence and they've got the resilience to do all those things. If you take a lot of our schools, our kids are coming in, and I'm talking under 5-year-old. We're going to diverse here, but that's all right.
That's right.
Under 5-year-olds, where, for instance, in Northland, over a third of our kids are coming in at 5-year-olds, and we're having to do transition classes to get them to actually be ready to be a 5-year-old intake. In other words, kids are coming at 5 and we're putting them into all sorts of things like reception classes and that to teach them things like sitting on mats, to teach them things like not fighting. They're coming at 2-3-year-old level. Now, we are trying to get kids into school. We're trying to get kids into school that have had whatever problems that have caused them to get like that. And so a school needs to look and be an exciting place for kids to come. It's not just about teaching kids how to read and write, no matter who says that. There's a whole lot of other dynamics that go on within a school structure that actually says we need to use every tool possible to encourage and to get kids into our schools.
I want kids to go to school, Pat. I do. But I think you can. Kids are 5, that young. Can you not instill a pride in them anyway no matter what they're learning out of, even if they're a prefab, you can say, we'll make it yours. We can make it exciting. You know,
It's
this
the
is,
concept.
you know,
It's